Hello and welcome to Women's Football Talk. This week it's only the one WSL game taking place from Kings Meadow as Chelsea welcome Manchester United in a rearranged fixture from earlier on this season. Both teams come into this week's fixture with unbeaten records in all competitions. Chelsea have won 7 out of 7 in the WSL and are sitting top of their Champions League group, whilst Manchester United have won just 4 of their 7 games and had 3 draws and are unbeaten in the Women's League Cup. So let's have a look at how this game is expected to pan out. So for Chelsea, they've been absolutely phenomenal in the WSL. As I said, won 7 out of 7. So have got 21 points, scored 25 goals this season and conceded 3. Now, considering they're under new management, Sonia Bonpasta, as maybe some thought by some people, and myself included, that it would take a while for them to get used to her new system, get used to everything post Emma Hayes, but everything has gone very swimmingly for them so far, even though they've had big injuries to players. Obviously, Sam Kerr's still out long term for her ACL injury. Mia Fisher still out with her injury. Lucy Bronze has been in and out of the rotation this season, and obviously last week they announced that Kadisha Buchanan had suffered an ACL injury, and it still seems to be going effortlessly for Chelsea so far. Even if we look back to last week's game against Manchester City, it was a very comfortable 2-0 victory where Moira Ramirez and Guru Wrighton scored the goals for Chelsea. So it seems that no matter what is thrown up against them, they are able to deal with their own troubles, if there has been any, which really there hasn't. And at times we saw in the early parts of the season, Chelsea were struggling to get into what we know Chelsea could do, like 4-4-50. They were quite steady and simple. They were getting the results, but they weren't blowing teams away. Now they're starting to look more cohesive, more fully understanding of how Bonpasta wants to play, and they are looking a lot more well-rounded in recent weeks. And then even if we look back to their game on Wednesday night in the Champions League, 3-0 victory over Celtic. Obviously, the last time they played Celtic, they had gone behind in the match, but had come back to win it. So it was a much better performance from them. Lucy Bronze, VK captain, and Eve Perisset scoring the goals in that one, which helped them progress through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. So overall, Chelsea are looking a lot more solid, and they're looking really unbeatable at the minute and look like they could win a 6th consecutive WSL title. Manchester United, on the other hand, they have had a bit of a slippery and uneven start to the season. Yes, they are unbeaten, but they had that period of 3 draws in a row in the WSL where they drew with Brighton, Arsenal and Aston Villa. But then winning against Leicester City at the weekend got them back to winning ways, and then a League Cup win over Everton where they won 2-0. It seems like there is a few things that Mark Skinner's had to change, obviously through injury and maybe just changing his 11's up a bit. So we saw Hinata Miyazawa, Hayley Ladd, Emma Watson all come in for this one. Anna Sandberg getting her first start. So there was a few changes for Manchester United on Wednesday night's fixture, but again, there is still a lot of fans questioning Mark Skinner's tactics, as we are now into his 4th season at the club and things aren't going right. And if we look at the grand scheme of things, yes, United are unbeaten, but it's not a good unbeaten run like Chelsea are doing in the WSL, or how strong Manchester City have been. Like the fact that Arsenal, who had such a poor start to the season and then sacked their manager Jonas Wadervoort, and now have gone on an incredible run under interim head coach Rene Slagers, to them now being ahead of Manchester United, although they're on the same points and Arsenal have played a game more, it's just they're actually looking a lot better compared to what Manchester United are doing at this minute. And I think that would be worrying a lot of Manchester United fans, and rightly so as well, that they're just not getting the results, or things aren't changing as clearly and quickly as they would like. I mean, the time that these two met last season, Chelsea won 6-0 on the final day of the season to wrap up the WSL title in Emma Hayes' last game. It just absolutely shows that there's a golfing class in difference between the two sides. And obviously, I'm not expecting Chelsea to blow Man United away again this weekend. I'm not expecting that to be such a big scoreline, but I am still expecting Chelsea to be the only remaining unbeaten team in the season, just because there's so many question marks over Manchester United, and I still don't understand what they are trying to do and how they're trying to be better and be amongst the elitists in the WSL and get competing for a potential WSL title, or even get back competing for the Champions League places. So it's going to be a very interesting game to see how they play out against each other in this rescheduled match on Sunday in the WSL. And obviously it's the only game in the WSL this weekend, as the rest of the teams are in Leagues Cup action, and then we are on to the final international break of the season. So let me know in the comments section below your thoughts on this Chelsea versus Manchester United game. The two unbeaten sides left in the WSL. Will either of them keep up their 100% unbeaten record, or will one of them finally lose it this weekend? In the meantime, make sure you like and subscribe and turn on the post notification bell so you never miss a video of ours. Make sure you're following us on X at WF Talks, Women's Football Talk, all one word, on Instagram and a Thread. And we will have plenty out over the next coming days on our Substack page, free to subscribe. That's womensfootballtalk.substack.com. It is our free to subscribe newsletter. And we also have our podcast as well, where we'll chat more in depth about this weekend's game, the NWSL Championship, and plenty of other stuff as well. Just search the Women's Football Talk podcast on all podcast sites. And in the meantime, we'll see you soon.